Our guest today is Jim Parkman. This was a huge case. I mean, this was the fourth largest accounting fraud in the history of the United States.
The CEO of HealthSouth, the Fortune 500 healthcare company.
Ferrari Enzo was nearly obliterated in the high-speed crash along the PCH.
Zenvo, ST150S.
He went from being on the Real Housewives of New Jersey.
Only made 3 for the United States.
I'm Bobby Khan, former exotic car dealer turned #1 FBI's most wanted fugitive.
Generally, when you look at the law, 90% of the time it's against you.
The FBI put a $20,000 reward for information into his arrest.
Bobby Khan scammed super rich customers at a New Jersey car dealership.
Join myself and James Parkman, my attorney and best friend, as we have cars, courts, and conversations.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Parkman Khan. That's Jim Parkman, and I'm Bobby Khan. So, Jimmy, I think you got something funny today.
Got what?
You got something funny to talk about today.
Well, no.
Before we do that, okay, we missed.
It's not
Jimmy.
funny. It's something that I think we're a show that's supposed to bring everything together, right? We're not
talking about everything.
All right.
Yeah.
I know, for example, that you are a real big Trump fan because you've spoken.
Absolutely.
You've hosted them. You're real big. You know that I'm a Trump fan too.
Yep.
Right?
Absolutely.
So, but for today, what I want to talk about, and I hope this reaches him, in some way, is I'd like to talk about some things that he recently said that is bothersome, and it bothers me. Doesn't bother me to the point that I wouldn't vote for him, but it bothers me to the point that I think something needs to be said about it instead of just sitting back and going, oh, well, that's just him.
Listen, that goes for everybody because, even like if you love somebody, right? And if they say something, you're like, listen, I love you, but I got to tell you, you were out of line.
Got to tell you something.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got to tell you something.
And it's not me. It's not an indictment. It's not anything other than, and look, I've heard this from other people too. Sometimes it's, if you can't talk nice about somebody or
don't
something,
talk, exactly.
then don't open your mouth. Okay, now.
Absolutely. Constructive criticism right here.
Right. We're within 2 weeks of an election.
Yes. 14 days today.
To me, it ought to be about the issues and what the issues are. Right?
Yep.
Okay. One of the issues that is not involved in this case is Arnold Palmer. Okay,
so I didn't watch the news that day. I was busy this weekend, and I heard about this whole Arnold Palmer controversy. What happened?
Right.
What happened?
Well, he made reference to Arnold Palmer's
genitalia.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. How did this come about? What was going on?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how it came out. He's speaking to a crowd of people. Look, this is not an issue. I don't care.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. It's not an issue. But for example, I'm trying to picture, because I didn't watch the news clip, right? Because I'm it's another rally. It's another clip. I've been to a bunch of his rallies. But I'm just trying to figure out how the hell did Arnold Palmer's genitals pop up in the conversation?
I only heard the clip, and what was said to me, it doesn't matter. It's inconsequential about what and why.
Yeah.
That is not a point that you make politically, okay?
No, absolutely.
A president of the United States does not talk about those kind of things, okay? Yeah. I mean, what value is it? And the daughter that heard this was upset. I can understand why. I understand why.
I don't think anybody wants their genitalia talked about.
Yeah, why?
Yeah.
So here's my point. My point is he has so many great things to speak about.
Absolutely.
About the United States of America, okay?
Yep.
About the way the economy's going right now. Speak about how much it costs to go buy enough meat to fix one hamburger now. It's cheaper to go to McDonald's than it is to buy it at the store almost. So what I'm saying is, why are we talking about this when the issues of the border, the economy, the world, how the world looks at us right now, what's going on with
the country's on fire. There's so much to talk about. There's so many things to talk about. I agree with you on that one.
Yeah. So all I'm trying to say is, there comes a time.
Funny? Was he trying to be funny about something, or was he like commenting the guy?
That's what it sounded like. Is he thought this was going to be hilarious, and it's not hilarious.
Okay.
Now,
Arnold
it shouldn't even come into his mind. If you're in front of people talking about running for president of the United States.
Yeah. Well, first of all, why would a man be? I mean, like, listen. I mean, I don't care about people's sexual preferences, but one man should not be talking about another man's genitals in public.
Right.
That's it. I don't care if you're running for president or you're not. Exactly.
That's a good
I'm not going to go out to dinner and talk about somebody else's package. That's useless.
And especially someone, unfortunately, that was as great as Arnold Palmer was, and has passed away. Okay. I mean, he was an iconic figure, not just in sports, but in America itself. I mean,
Yep. Now, so there he had he flubbed over there. Okay. But what do you think about the McDonald's thing yesterday?
About what?
How he went to McDonald's yesterday.
Oh, and did that? I thought that was hilarious. Now you see,
that's great.
That's great. That's great. That's something that I think is wonderful. I think it would be wonderful to see somebody pull up, and
people actually pulled up, and he was
president of the United States giving you, your quarter pounder.
The one woman got she ordered a 6-piece chicken nuggets, and he gave her 7 pieces. Right.
Right. Add a few on there.
And here's the thing: McDonald's feeds 25 million people a day. Or no, sorry, was it 25% of the population a day or something like? It's a huge number, right?
It's unbelievable.
There's nothing as wholesome as McDonald's. I don't care who you are. I don't care what your preference. You've gone to McDonald's. You've had McDonald's fries if you're a vegetarian. You've had something. Doesn't matter what you eat. People know McDonald's like they know apple pie and the American flag.
And all he has to do is when you pull up at the drive, hand him a bag and say, "Let me tell you, you didn't ask for it, but I supersized you today."
Yeah, exactly. But it was hilarious.
That's on me. I supersized you today on me.
And here's what I have to say about this, okay? Politics is boring. I hate politics. I'm not a fan of politicians because politics, up until Donald Trump came into it, was never interesting, okay? They stand up there and they talk to you like you're down here, and they try to throw, like, I heard a speech from Kamala Harris the other day, and she's trying to explain democracy. I don't need you to explain democracy. All I need you to tell me is, if I vote for you, what are you going to do to fix this? The inflation, the border, the immigration, the wars in the Middle East, the infrastructure, my kids' school system, when education is one of the worst things. We're one of the worst education systems in the world right now.
Yeah.
That's what
let me tell you something. This is interesting because, I love sports. You don't, I do. And, so I'm watching Saturday football, okay? And here comes all these political ads.
Oh, yeah.
Of which some of them were for a governor running for North Carolina. Like I care, okay?
Yeah, you're in Alabama.
Now, I want to see sports. I don't want to hear politics.
Nope.
Got it? I can hear politics on the news. I don't have to hear it there. And I certainly don't have to hear why I should vote for, which I can't, a North Carolina governor. I could care less. So my point is, with all of this being said, we're a couple of weeks away. Trump, stay off of this crap, okay?
Listen, I think Trump, if he just coasts at this point, he gets it. He gets the win. All he's got to do is he's got to watch what he says for the next couple of weeks, and he's got to win. Because, like when you see what's happening on the landscape, I'm going to say something. And so we went to go see RFK speak in Tulsi Gabbard, right?
Yes, you did.
And so when we went back, in the back and went to his dressing room, and we got to talk to RFK and Tulsi Gabbard, and he goes, "So what do you guys see on the ground here right now?" And we're like, we were explaining, like, when you're actually on the ground, I don't know how it is in Alabama, But I'm not seeing Kamala stickers on people's lawns. I'm seeing Trump stickers, right? I'm seeing Trump stickers on the back of cars. I'm not seeing Kamala things. And then there was a guy that we were with, and he's a big-time political donor and stuff like that. And he said he got 2 phone calls from posters. And they asked him, who are you voting for, Kamala Harris or Donald Trump? He said, neither. I'm voting for Bobby Kennedy. This is when Bobby Kennedy was still in the race.
Right.
And they said, well, he's not an option, so we'll just put you down for Kamala. He said, but I'm not voting for Kamala. Well, you can either pick Kamala or Donald. So they put him. Then they called him again, like a couple of weeks later, another polling company, and he said the same thing. And they said, well, we're going to put you down for Kamala. So if they're doing that, how real are the polls? And I really believe a lot of Republicans, when they get called, they don't answer. They're not going to be truthful because a lot of people, it's gotten to a point where you don't want to tell people that you're voting for Trump because, it's a stigma, or people will judge you differently, or you don't want to lose your job or your, standing in something like that. So I think the polls are telling a whole different picture than what is reality. Like, when the polls have Donald Trump and Kamala a point or 2 points apart, I really think it's 10 points apart, and he's a lot further ahead.
That's what's going to be, to me, that's what's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
About the election and who comes out to vote and are you correct at your assumption with regards to, what's happening? Look, I get the things on my app, tell me who you're voting for. I don't answer it because I got other things to do. I don't have time for that.
Exactly. And I don't think I can vote. I'm a convicted felon, so I can't vote. So I've never voted in my life because I never liked politicians, right? I never had the patience for anybody. And now when I want to vote, I can't vote because I'm a convicted felon.
Well, that's probably because you never voted and they're just getting back at you now.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, whatever. Like, now I lost my life.
I mean, and then, this is, boy, howdy. Anyway, going back a minute.
Speaking of voting, actually, hold on. My wife just reminded me. In Nevada, a convicted felon can vote.
Okay, there you go.
And in Nevada, a convicted felon can hold office. So my wife was telling me for 2 weeks, she goes, you got to run for office.
So can Trump. So can Trump.
Yeah.
Now,
exactly.
What's interesting is nobody said it, but I wonder if he can vote.
Well,
not
exactly.
supposed to.
That's my question. But he hasn't been sentenced yet. So he can vote. Because he's been found guilty. But until he's physically sentenced, he can still vote.
Yes, I would think so.
Yeah. So, okay, now you're speaking on that term, right? No one has spoken about this thing. And I don't know why no one's talked about this, but I brought this up with, I brought it up with my wife, and I brought it up with another attorney I met at an event recently. I said, so Donald Trump's a convicted felon, and he becomes president, right? People that just got out of prison or on probation, they can't associate with a convicted felon, right? So what happens if Donald Trump says, hey, I want you to come to the White House, and you're a convicted felon that's on probation? What happens? You can't go talk to the President of the United States because he's a convicted felon and you're a convicted felon? And if you do, you're going back to prison for violation of your probation?
Yeah.
How's that going to work?
Look, you're raising issues that have never been addressed before in the United States.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, yeah. And it's a shame when, a president of the United States say, I can't meet with someone.
Yeah. Because he's
think about it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, for example, Steve Bannon comes out of prison and he wants to go to the White House. Steve Bannon can't go to the White House.
No, because he can't be around other people. You're right.
Yep. So he would literally have to call the judge and say, hey, Your Honor, I want to go to the White House to meet the president. Am I allowed to?
Yeah.
Yep.
And I want to talk to him.
The judge would say no.
And not just to say hello, but maybe even, how about this?
Yeah.
Expand it to, he wants to ask me about certain things that are involving the presidency and which way to go. He wants to consult with me on that.
Yep.
So I can't do that,
So, and we're going to keep this episode short, but this is an episode I'd like to talk about later because, the whole saying is you pay your debt to society and then you move on with your life. you don't pay your debt to society and move on with your life. You pay for it for the rest of your life because you're restricted as a felon of what you can and cannot do.
Correct.
And it carries on for the rest of your life. So you literally have a life sentence. You know, as a felon, you can't get this job. You can't be in this business. You can't, live here or live there. It's like Jim Crow laws have become felon laws.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's not fair because,
How do you rehabilitate?
Well, you know how you rehabilitate it? I can tell you.
Move out of the country.
Mindset. Here's the thing. People that complain about it don't realize that they also have mistakes that they made in their life. Okay?
Yep.
So, the old saying comes out of those who have stones shouldn't throw them. Okay?
Absolutely, yeah.
Because, in glass, they shouldn't do it. Because everybody has things in their past. Everybody. Now, it may not be a felony, but they still have things in their past.
Everybody does.
And so what you have to do is if someone has served their time and have done what they're supposed to do and are out, then put that past behind you.
And restore your rights.
Judge the person based on the person. And, now that's hard to do. But if you think about it, those people that have committed really
heinous crimes,
atrocious crimes,
yep,
they're not going to be out going, hey, look at me now.
No, they're not going to. If somebody committed murder, or rape, or incest, or something like that,
they're going to be in.
But you have to base these punishments based off the crime. You can't sit there and say all felons can no longer sell real estate because they're a convicted felon, right?
Right.
There's different felonies. There's different people. You can't just do a blanket. You can't sit there and say no felon can sit there and be a part of Wall Street or be a part of or live in rent a home or do this or do that.
And sometimes going through the process can teach someone
a huge
what
lesson.
not to do again.
Yep, absolutely. The process itself is more of a learning curve than prison or anything else they throw at you.
Yeah.
That whole time from the moment you're arrested to the time you're sentenced, that period teaches you a world of things.
Right.
Yep.
And I'm taught that we are to forgive.
Yeah.
We're to forgive people. Now, let's take a look at this a minute, okay? Trump got convicted. If he's the right man for the job, okay, what difference does that make?
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with whether he could do the job as a president of the United States.
Yeah.
It's just something that happened.
It happened. And you know what? He moves on from it.
And move on. And look, there are plenty of excuses that go around as to why it happened. But the major point being, hey, that's in the past. It's over. Move forward.
Yeah, exactly.
If you believe the person can do the job and get the economy straightened out, get the border straightened out, get the world straightened out, then there you have it.
And that goes for any job, right? Like, for example, if Trump was a felon and tomorrow he wanted to run a Vegas casino, if he can do the job, he should be able to run it. Rejected a license because he's a convicted felon.
Right. But because, first of all, he has, credentials.
Yeah.
That he has done that. And,
yeah, exactly.
So.
Well, I mean, yeah, but if Trump keeps his mouth shut, basically you're saying?
That's all I'm saying.
That's it.
Talk the issues. Talk to me.
Yeah. Exactly.
To me. Yeah, tell me that I'm not going to spend $5 on a gallon of milk anymore. Okay, yeah.
At this point, the public, all they want to be reiterated is, hey, I'm going to lower prices. I'm going to, gas prices will come down. Inflation will be sorted out. Immigration will be sorted out. And we'll work on education and whatever not. So
yeah, absolutely. That's what I want to know.
Yep.
That's what's important to me in an election. That's it.
Well, exactly. And listen, by the way, if you're not following Jim Parkman, on Instagram, go to Attorney Jim Parkman. And
thank you.
If you have any legal problems or anything like that, whether it be federal or state, Jim's the guy you need to speak to, okay? Because I trust Jim wholeheartedly.
Thank you, Bobby.
Got a lifetime of experience. So you got to go check them out on Instagram. And then also us on Instagram, Parkman Khan Unleashed.
Yeah.
Follow the account. We obviously post a couple times a day, and Jim Parkman and Bobby Khan are tagged in all the posts, so you can go follow us and see us there. All right, and watch our other episodes.
Yes, please.
All right.